episode of the Chad Prather Show. It's a Wednesday right here in Irving, Texas, in Studio 22, hanging out with you guys. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy midweek. I'm ready for the weekend. This feels like a Monday to me. I don't know. I was just in Ramona, California. We had two very successful, very fun shows with my Star Spangled Banter comedy tour on Friday and Saturday night of last week. And then we headed out to L.A., and I saw the movie premiere of the upcoming Unplanned, which is coming out on March 29th. I had the fortunate blessing of being able to be one of the ones who introduced the screening of that movie at CPAC in Washington. And, of course, we were able to go out there and visit with a lot of friends, a lot of social media influencers, a lot of... I was really surprised how many people were at this movie premiere. They probably had 2,500 people, maybe more. A lot of people. 6 theaters were filled up there at the Mann's Chinese Theater. So, really cool deal. It was really an honor. So, get out there and support that movie. They gave it a rated R rating. They gave it an R rating, the MPAA did, which is trying to... They were trying to dissuade people from seeing it. They said there were too many bloody images. Well, I mean, if it's just a blob of tissue, I don't know why. They would, it's not violence if it's just a blob of tissue. It's a baby. Hey, Natalie.
Hi.
Hot news, Natalie. How's your week been?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been really good. I've been missing you. I know.
Tell me more.
Right? Well, you talk about your Star Spangled Banter.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know. You skipped my Dallas show.
When is it?
It was December 6th of this last year.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you that well.
We tried a guy. No, you didn't. You didn't really know me at all back then. No.
Las Vegas changed that.
Yeah, it changed it forever for all of us.
Right.
No, we had about 3,000 people at that show. It was a big one. And then we'll be back. We'll be back. We try to space it out, markets. We try to space out around 15, 16 months.
Where's your next one?
I am going to be in Anaheim, California.
Just fly me out there.
April 5th. Come on.
Okay.
It's going to be a party.
I mean, I'm going to look at my calendar.
Yeah. And I told all the cast and everybody from the Unplanned movie they need to come.
Yeah.
All my celebs. But we did. We ran into there's people everybody needs to be following on social media. My buddy Anomaly. That's his stage name he uses. He's one of those wisest young dudes on the planet. I got to see him again out there.
Wise and young. That is an anomaly.
He's like sitting with Jesus. He really is. He's smart. Humble dude. And Fleckus, Austin Fletcher, great to see him out there. Mindy Robinson, Joy Vila, Graham Allen, who's a nobody. Graham's a nobody. You're going to be on Graham's show when he moves out here to Dallas.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to come out here to Dallas, and he'll get you on a podcast over there. Party Foul Steve is over in the Peanut Gallery.
I am here.
Hanging out.
I skipped L.A. I had to come back home. Had an emergency.
Well, our deal there was Mike Lindell from MyPillow.com. He was one of the main producers of this movie, and he was going to fly us out on his private jet and fly us back home. And you never say no to a private jet, right?
No.
So I was already in the San Diego area, so we just drove up to L.A. because they said, well, Mike wants to know if he could just buy you a first-class ticket home because I didn't need to fly out there.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, just whatever. I don't care. And so I didn't want to ask him to buy a ticket for Steve, too. They were like, who's Steve?
My feelings are hurt.
No, I'm kidding.
Attached at the hip.
I wish he would have been out there.
That's your ride or die.
He would have had he had something like that.
No, my mother had some issues, so I need to get back to Texas, and she's all good though.
Oh, she's okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay. I have a question about this pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot about it, and actually I've been listening to Dana Lash a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I love my pillow. I think that's what she's like, my pillow, my
That's
pillow,
what
my
she's
pillow.
talking about.
My pillow. I love my pillow. Do you really love it?
She's getting paid to love her My Pillow.
I know. Are you? I know.
I bought 3 of them. I actually purchased 3 of them.
Okay, you purchased 3.
I've been sleeping on one for the last 6 months, and it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's some people don't like them because you have to get used to them. It takes there's an element that you have to get used to. So I'm used to it. I mean, I'm not changing anytime soon. So.
I get my pillows at Walmart.
$5.
No, $2.98. What are you talking about?
Yeah. My pillows aren't cheap. Hey, Candace. Producer Candace is over there. She's reluctantly in the peanut gallery today.
Yes, they called in the reserves to fill.
Bless your heart. Thanks for sitting in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got Puppet Master Mark. Chase is over there in the puppet gallery. You guys are hanging out. Look at you guys.
What's his
Y'all
name?
are so...
Chance?
Chance, I meant. What'd I say?
Chase.
That's what I meant. I meant to say,
That's your last-
Chasey Chance.
That's the last chance to get it right.
I know. I'm terrible, Chance. Oh, goodness. Anyway,
Well, he's tired, Chance.
I know. Been a long week
Really
already.
tired.
It feels like a Monday, but here we are on a Wednesday. And there are things going on in this world I want us to talk about.
There are.
What's happening?
Yeah, I have a few to chat about with you, and maybe you can educate me on some of them. 'Cause
Sure.
I do headlines, and I'm like, I got to move on. So you educate me. Man, New Zealand.
Yeah,
What
tragedy.
What a sad deal.
Tragedy.
And what I read was that it was streaming live on Facebook, and nobody reported it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there was a lot of people who saw it by accident. It just popped on it, and there it was. Obviously, it was getting a lot of traffic. Facebook said last week that they pulled it down off of about several million sites, trying to
Scrubbed
keep
it.
that, scrub it out. But I mean, the atrocity of live streaming murder, and which was it was a terrorist action. I mean, we always have people who say, "Oh, well, if it's a white guy, you don't call him a terrorist." No, this was a terroristic action. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. This is just the ultimate example of inhumanity, and it's a tragic, tragic deal. But the idea that you would, and you have to know, we've all talked about it, but you have to know that with things available to us like live streaming on social media, that people are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to utilize it, and it's a sad thing. So at what point in time do you look at social media and say, okay, there has to be some parameters here that get pulled back? How much invasion into life and in many cases death and tragedy do we allow to happen on that? I mean, it's crazy. And where does that fall in the spectrum of free speech and things like that?
Well, and I appreciate that the Prime Minister hasn't said his name, except maybe once.
Yeah.
And that's actually something I support. I feel a lot of the crazies doing this, they want to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And that's, they want 3 names,
Right. Right.
That's just what they want to do. They want to be famous from this. And I actually, being a former reporter, I support not saying the person's name. Because if they can't be popular with the popular crowd, they want to be, infamous.
Well, and the judge in the hearing, he allowed cameras in the courtroom, but he had his face blurred out. So I think we have to get to that, because you're right. People are looking for notoriety, and there needs to be, again, you go back to public hangings if you have to, or public executions. I mean, whatever it takes. I mean, it's crazy that this death cult fascination that people have with tragedy, and they want to glorify it so big. That's got to end. That's got to stop.
I also heard that a lot, the manifesto from this killer was emailed to the Prime Minister along with other offices in New Zealand minutes before it happened.
Yeah.
And she's having to answer for that. But my question is, how often do they get mailed stuff like that, and how do you validate it before it happens?
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard to know, something like that. I mean, you can only imagine how much mail actually comes to the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and they're supposed to filter through all of those things. So.
In his manifesto, didn't he say put 2 years into putting it all together and training and planning and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing with all of that is, that's the other part of it, is everybody wants to blame somebody. It's got to be Trump's fault. It's got to be white people's fault. It's got to be this or that. And, the blame game thing, somebody's got to take account for it. And so now it's going to be the Prime Minister's fault for not reading her mail, or
It's a psycho's fault.
Exactly.
Period.
It's the gun's fault.
Who wants to be famous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the crazy
Absolutely.
person's fault.
That's right. Well, so I also read that many gun owners are handing over their guns to the police in New Zealand now, because while it's nice to have the gun, it's not worth it being used unsafely.
Which is crazy. I mean, are you using the gun unsafely?
If they're handing it over, let them hand it over, because they don't need one anyway.
That's a fair point.
I mean, if you have that kind of guilt going on in your head where you need to give your gun away because you're afraid of shooting somebody, give your gun away. I mean, whatever. But my guns are safe, in a safe, and they're in a protected spot. They're not hurting anybody right now.
There was a farmer that said in New Zealand who said, was it AR-15? I don't remember. He had something that he was shooting, and he utilized it. Being out in the fields, he needed it, but he thought it was more important just to hand it over.
Well, great. I mean, when the coyotes are eating his sheep, whatever. But it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. What else?
Yeah, let you move on.
We can.
I know. Yeah,
good. That thing is, it's really a sad deal. It's a sad deal. I mean, this guy was trying to, according to the manifesto, promote division and really create basically a dividing war in the U.S. And you can't let stuff like that be successful.
Yeah.
Nip it in the bud.
This gal I know you're going to vote for, Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, bless her heart. Pocahonky.
She wants to disband the Electoral College. What?
Of course she does.
That is shocking.
Of course she does.
That is that's breaking news.
Well, anything you can do to rig the system and cheat the system to make sure that the left gets elected, and they definitely are going to need to get rid of that. Absolutely crazy. Our founding fathers were geniuses beyond anything that we can really give them credit for, because we underestimate how smart these men were and almost divinely directed to put together the Constitution of the United States. Let me tell you, the Electoral College saves us. I mean, it's crazy how people just refuse to understand the fundamental asset that the Electoral College gives us in America. You see, voting is not a right. Voting is a privilege that we have here. It is a privilege. A lot of people don't take that privilege and use it. They take it for granted. It is a sacred. People have bled and died for us to have that liberty, and we don't live under a king. We don't live under royalty and a monarchy and those things. We fought and died in order to get ourselves free from that. So to take something that is so essentially fundamental as an ingredient to American liberty and say, well, we're just going to do away with it because it doesn't make sense. That changes us from being a constitutional republic to being a legitimate democracy, and we're not a democracy. People have got to quit using the word democracy. We utilize democracy, but we are not a democracy. So she's nuts.
What she knows, I mean, we all know the densely populated cities in the United States always skew to the left. So she obviously that's exactly what's going to happen.
Your heavy population centers like L.A. and New York are always going to vote, that way.
Fort Worth
has already done it. I mean, if you want to win the election, we've been doing this thing for 250 years. If you want to win the election, win the election. Win the election the way people have always. Democrats have won elections. Independents have won elections. Republicans have won elections. Party Foul Steve won a most favorite contest when he was. Yeah, are you doing the Beto?
I'm working on my campaign right now. I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas.
Candace, you gotta join him in the hand.
Yeah,
emulate everything.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, Beto I worry for his wife. She's been slapped around by those hands.
Ooh.
So yeah, pow. Crazy.
Did you see that crop circle?
Yeah. That in Austin, Texas?
Yes.
The guy built the crop circle art of Beto's face.
That was actually a great piece of artwork, though. I mean,
it was
for
beautiful.
Landscape kind of stuff. I'm not saying I don't.
Well, here's what I want to know: did the guy use a tractor and a mower that ran off of gas and fossil fuels? Because that is not Green New Deal.
No.
And is that on the ag exempt land?
Exactly. Tax free
cattle on that land.
I guarantee you, he uses a tax exemption on that because it's used for livestock or for growing agricultural purposes. So on tax free land, he's making a political statement.
Yeah.
There's so much hypocrisy.
Well, and he's going to have a rally, and he's invited Beto to come.
Of course he has.
Well, that's why he put the picture out there. He wanted Beto to come. He wants some attention.
I want to have a rally and get Beto to come. I'd love for him to come. I love that he was speaking on the college campus yesterday or the day before, and the student said, could you please just give us some real policy instead of just telling the stories, instead of the, did y'all see that?
There's nobody out there giving anything on policy. All they're doing is how they're going to try to win the election.
Well, let me tell you this thing, too. So he came out, what was it, yesterday or the day before, and he said, I want you to define who I'm going to be as a candidate. I want the public to define. I'm like, what spineless creature? Well, hey, Stretch Armstrong.
He depended on his 3 little children to tell him, yeah, Dad, go ahead and run for president. We're okay with it.
Yeah.
And so
this is the dude in 2018 who gave an interview and said, I will not run for president because I don't think my family could survive after what we went through in the Senate race. He said, I don't think we could.
But he's running, and man, that dude can raise some money.
He's scary.
He can raise, what is it, $6.1 million in the first 24 hours. He raised over $6 million.
Well,
that's fast.
And he's open for 16-year-olds to vote. He's open-minded about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wasn't even chat about that.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that, Chad?
On 16-year-olds to vote?
Lowering the voting rate.
Well, when I was 16, we had so many kids in my car, we had to put two boys in the trunk. And when I was 16, we gathered up a bunch of cats and turned them loose in the Chinese restaurant. So trust me when I tell you, 16-year-olds don't have the sense God gave a cat. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
But I think if they want to do that, let's do it. But they also have to sign up for the draft at that age, because that's why we lowered the age from 21 to 18 in the early 70s. Was we say, hey, if our young guys can go fight for our country, they should be allowed to vote. So we lowered it to 18. Well, now if you want to lower it to 16, well, those guys should be able to step up and fight for the country. So sign up for the draft.
You just don't give the keys to the Ferrari to the kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You give your 16-year-old an old beater. It's kind of a trial car because they're going to have a fender bender. I did. I wrecked my car at 16. Yeah. So you just don't give them the keys to the Ferrari, and that's in essence what we're doing with this privilege of voting. Because again, I go back to the point: voting is not a right. Voting is a privilege. If you are a felon, guess what? You lose that privilege. There are things that make you lose the privilege, and you have to basically earn that privilege, and one of those is a level of maturity. And 16-year-olds don't have that. I think that you should be the age of the person you're like, okay, so if a person's running for Congress, you should have to be 25 because that's the age to run for Congress. Then the person voting for someone in Congress should be 25. 35 for president. I don't think you should be able to vote for president unless you're 35 years old.
Really?
I really do. Why not?
The
person's running. Why should an 18-year-old be allowed to decide a person who has to be 35 to run the country?
Well, 18-year-olds
I saw
are
where
considered
they're considered an adult.
They're
but
adults.
They're not that adult.
No, I know there's a maturity there. Sorry.
There's a study that just came out that says the human brain doesn't mature until 30s.
Well, the human brain, the prefrontal cortex on your brain does not mature until at least 25. That's why I encourage people don't get married till they're 30, because you don't know what you want. You don't know who you are until you're 30. Look, social media, the age of social media, people change careers 7 times on average before they're 35 years old.
Not just jobs.
Careers.
Yeah,
they change careers. They graduate undecided. Do you know how many kids are graduating with a degree in basically being undecided these days?
Yes.
It is record numbers because they go in with no clue what they want to do when they go to college or the university. They take a few business classes and they're like, well, I got to decide something. I guess I'll just major in business with just one big blanket. If you're undecided about what you want to do with your life, how in the world can you decide on who's going to lead the free world? I mean, it's just asinine to even have this conversation but you know, Nancy Pelosi comes out the other day and says, well, I think that, I've always been for 16-year-olds voting because they have open minds. And I'm like, woman, your mind's so open, your brains are falling out. I think they should require it where, Alzheimer's patients can't be Speaker of the House. But that's what we have in this chick because she's nuts. Mm-hmm. She is nuts. Look, I've got 5 kids. I got 3 of them that have already passed through 16. I'm not saying they're dumb, but at 16, they're dumb. They're dumb. Listen, 5 kids, only like 3 of them at any given time. You just got to whoop them.
Right.
You got to beat them kids. We got undisciplined children getting participation trophies, and we're going to tell them that it's okay for them to vote for president of the United States. Mm-hmm. Please. I'm proud of that kid at the college, though, who asked Beto that question, who said, can we please hear some policy out of you? Because these people, all they're doing is they're running on I'm not Trump. That's all any of them are doing.
Right.
So, 16. Give me a break.
You think people hated Trump in 16? They're really going to be hating the next 2 years.
Oh, in 2020?
Oh, yeah. As this whole election process starts over again, they're just really going to come out full against him.
It's going to be a Biden-Beto ticket on the right, on the left. I'm quite certain. Be interesting to see. Biden has a chance. People say, well, Biden's more moderate and more centrist. No, he only plays one on TV. That I promise you, he is not moderate at all. You put him in the Oval Office, and it's going to be a different ball game altogether. Now, Beto, if Beto gets a nomination, Trump will curb stomp him into oblivion. But then you're going to have to watch out for him in about 4 more years because that's going to be something. Especially if you got Beto running against Mike Pence, who
you have 3 of them in double digits right now. You have Sanders, you have because Biden's not official yet, so you have Sanders, you have Beto, and you have Kamala.
She says Kamala.
Okay, Kamala. So they're all
I say stupid
11% or more.
Yeah. Well, and Biden's way up there in terms of polling. I mean, he's got the support that's out there. So, who you voting for?
AOC's too young, right?
She can't run. Thank God she's too young because she's dangerous. And
but do you feel? I feel like she's a puppet. I mean, I really do.
Yeah, this is a woman who answered a casting call to be Congresswoman.
Yes, and I figured we'd probably bring her name up. Somebody would. It was me. Yeah. And so I just ran her name, and headlines. Whew, they're slaughtering her.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Fox. I'm talking NBC, CBS, ABC, CNBC. It's a lot of.
Hey, when crazy people call somebody else crazy, you know they're crazy.
If anybody listening or watching this, if you have not watched the Wells Fargo interview that she did, the hearing that she did with the CEO of Wells Fargo, people should go watch that because I can't do it justice by retelling it. You just have to go watch it and see how dumb she is. Because obviously someone's writing these questions for her. Mm-hmm. And she's reading them. And she has to read them because if she doesn't read, then she's like, I'm
she's not going to have a rebuttal.
No.
Because she doesn't really know what.
She won't debate anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's been numerous offers for people to bring, for her to come on different shows, and she won't do that.
No. I'd like to interview some of her bar patrons, like her regular bar patrons, find out if she was a good bartender. Can she mix some drinks or what?
Yeah. Yeah, the Billy Joel song. And the waitress is practicing politics.
There we go.
Yeah. Craziness.
That's great.
Yeah, so she's nuts. And Beto, I don't know. Like, I try to get into the mind of people and think, what motivates them to look at some of these people and say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's logical. I mean, Mark, enlighten me on this thing because I like... It scares me that someone would look at Beto O'Rourke, who has said literally nothing on policy, and the stuff he has said is ludicrous.
It's a popularity. He's just popular.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Steve.
Okay.
I'm talking to Mark.
I was going to say, I think it's kind of the cool thing to do. Like, and with social media now, if your friend puts something up about Beto, oh, this guy's the guy. I mean, people jump on that train and they don't actually go read anything. They see tweets. Yeah. They see a charismatic-looking guy who says stuff that sounds cool.
But this is a guy who just said, keep your AR-15.
Oh, he pissed everybody off in one tweet.
Yeah. Did you see that, Mark?
I did, yeah. Yeah,
because he comes out and says, I don't care. If you have an AR-15, you can keep your AR-15. We just don't need to sell any more weapons of war.
Weapons of war. But you can keep the one that you have.
Yeah. Weapons of war. Yeah. 220, the rounds, 5.56 or 223, isn't it 223 round that's in that?
Yeah, so 5.56.
5.56 is
really
not
close.
a lethal round. It's not designed to be a lethal round. Yeah, I mean, you can kill somebody with it, but it's not designed to be a lethal round. It's not a weapon of war. It's not an M16. You know what I'm saying? It's not an M60. It's not a 50 cal. So anyway, that's dumb. But to say, well, you can just keep your guns, well, that pisses off the left.
Right.
And to say, but don't buy anymore.
A weapon of war.
That's going to, and it's a weapon of war. That's going to piss off the right.
Right.
So this guy, clueless. He's just making it up as he goes along. That's the deal. Come on and get mine, son.
Right.
Come on and get mine. All you got people say, oh, if the government wants your guns, they'll get them. Yeah, say that in Afghanistan. Those people been dug up in them caves for centuries. And Russia couldn't get them out. America can't get them out. Mm-hmm. They're still in them caves fighting. Yeah, don't tell me what the government can do. People are resourceful when they're desperate. And
Yes.
I'm not advocating war, but by
No.
God, that's what it comes to. That's what it comes to, Candace. Yeah.
I'm listening to every word. I think Beto is running a lot on the momentum of the congressional run still.
Right.
So they're probably just filling out different avenues before they lock down a ticketed platform, which is...
Yeah, I think that, like I said, he comes out and he says, well, I want you to help me become the candidate that I should be. You know, you basically design it. I'm a blank slate, which is the same thing that Obama said in his book when he was running. You know, he just said, I'm a blank canvas. And a horse pucky. You are not a blank canvas. You have an agenda. There is always an agenda. Trust me when I tell you, the wisest words I've ever uttered in my life, and I use them on every situation, the issue is never the issue. People that want the stuff that they bring out and the things they say, it's like if you get in a fight with Joseph, and he's always right. So if you're in a fight with your husband and you guys are mad at each other and you're going to say things, well, the issue is never the issue. What you're saying is the issue, is usually not the real issue. Something else ticked you off.
Yeah, I'm ticked you said that he's always right.
Exactly. See, I knew it wouldn't take much to trigger you. I knew it wouldn't take much to trigger
I'm
you.
emotional.
Oh. Is it that time? No? Yeah? No?
Wow.
Hey, man. Hard-hitting
I'm not one to lie.
investigative journalism on the Chad Prather Show. You're welcome, America.
Hey, Mark, are you laughing?
Yeah, he's laughing. I'm funny.
I was just surprised.
Yeah, they got people. They got
man,
people.
there's the
Why
banter.
can't we talk
Appalling.
about periods?
No, it's
you got
true.
women who are putting period blood on their face
Absolutely.
and making a statement by.
What was that chick on Fox that got in? Oh, can I say chick?
Yeah, you can say chick.
I'm
This
okay
is
with it.
America.
Fox. What was her name?
On what?
That Trump gave her, called her all kinds of names and stuff.
Oh, good.
What was her name?
Wait,
That narrows it down.
Blonde
Somebody
chick
Trump
on,
called
I was
the
saying
name.
blonde chick on
chick
Fox.
on Fox.
Well, it's about a half a dozen of them.
Oh, Megan Kelly?
Yeah,
yeah.
Megyn Kelly. That's what I was trying to
Megyn.
think of. That was almost Megyn Kelly-esque, what you said.
Oh, well, whatever. Whatever. Yeah. That's why you don't work for NBC. Yeah. But no.
It doesn't
This-
offend me.
I know it doesn't.
No,
That's why you're
that's-
a co-host on this show.
I feel like
We're
speaking.
unoffendable.
Well, yeah. One of my best friends told me if you're offended, then you've let somebody offend you, and why would you do that?
Yeah, you let somebody live rent-free in your head. Why do that?
Right. Just quit being offended.
Like I said, our mantra, we're going to mock everybody. We don't care what color you are. We don't care what gender you are. We don't care what persuasion you are. We don't care if you're fat, skinny, Steve. It don't matter. We're going to mock everybody. Everybody. Because that's what we do.
Well, and I have fun.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, hey, the Pentagon found some money.
Hey,
It
Enough to
said-
build a wall and then
Enough
some.
yeah. 12.8 billion. Billion.
I don't know how you lay that aside and misplace it.
I know.
Like, where was that? It was
Magically.
like, oh, God, I opened up the closet door and there was $12.8 billion.
It's petty cash.
That doesn't happen to you all
They
the time.
opened up the petty cash drawer.
I mean, that's the ultimate digging through your old jeans and you find
Right.
a $20 bill.
Well, the Pentagon says it will redirect allocated funds for other projects and put it toward the wall.
Good.
This is going to shock you, but there's a few Democrats who do not think that that's okay.
Come on.
Yes, that
Yeah.
it's the
So-
ineffective wall
This
is not
was
going to work.
money left over from previous administration that was there all along. Mm-hmm. This didn't just pop up last night.
So obviously they're saying that it could hurt our national security
Yes.
if we use that money to build a wall.
Well, I
I can't believe Democrats are now interested in our national security. What did they say? What happened?
Well, so I read, because that is what a Democrat from Rhode Island, Senator Jack Reed said.
Mm-hmm.
That I hope, when we all consider this before the vote, to override the president's veto.
Yeah. 70,000 illegals crossed the Mexican border last month that were caught. Mm-hmm. We don't know how many got away with it. Mm-hmm. 70,000 were caught. Mm-hmm. If that's not a national crisis, I don't know what is. That's a crisis. And again,
They caught 400 I think it was last night in 5 minutes, all at one time. They don't have any place. This is in El Paso. I think it was El Paso.
Wow.
Some of the what I saw on the list for reallocating dollars would be $6.3 million to a cryogenics facility in South Carolina.
Who they freezing?
Do you do cryotherapy?
No, I don't. I'm not into being cold. They dropped that to like 90 below zero.
That's cold.
That's cold.
Lose a nipple.
No, it'll fall right off. And it ain't even the nipple I'm worrying about.
Well, for you.
Is that where they cut off your head and freeze it or something?
Yeah.
Or what is this?
$13 million Child Development Center in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
Mm-hmm.
$15 million Human Performance Training Center in Colorado.
So like a gym?
So I was, because we've got the Olympic Training Center there.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what is
human performance. What are they building? Cyborgs? Like more weapons of war?
Human
Weird, like G.I. Joe on
training facility.
Let's go back to that other.
I got a gym I want to build.
That one,
the Child Development Center.
Child development. Well, if they're going to keep aborting babies, you don't need to worry about child development, do they?
Not in Maryland.
Yep.
No, I got a cause. We'll come up with a cause right here. The Pentagon can send us a few million.
Apple juice slush fund.
Yeah. Do you know how far we could make 13 million stretch? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
You wouldn't see my white ass anywhere anymore. I'd be gone.
Bye.
Poof.
Magic. Well,
of course, Steve would see me because I can't get rid of him.
That's right. You can't get rid of me.
He's like syphilis.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 2/3 a majority of Congress to override the veto. Probably not going to happen.
Right.
But I think that senators like Jack Reed are going to continue bringing this up.
Sure they are. Of course they are. They have to. Orange man bad.
It's an anti-Trump thing. That's the whole. Every argument leads back to anti-Trump.
But again, I go back to our prior point talking about what goes through people's mind. I mean, you got to remember every politician, every one of them who is against this have all advocated for better border security over the years. They've just never done anything about it.
Right.
Every president, every senator, all the Congress, everybody has done it. Beto has come out and said, well, I'd tear down the existing walls. And, I had people who jumped on me when he was running for Senate because I would tweet things about him and they would say, he's for border security, but he's just not for that. No, he's not. He wants to open it up. He wants our neighbors to the south to just roll right on through. And that's nonsense.
Did he give an alternative to the wall?
No, he has no policy.
No, it's just
because he's waiting for the people to create it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The people.
We the people. They believe that's voters that are going to come across the border and come vote Democrat.
Well, you go to California and you can get you a state ID and get a driver's license if you're illegal. Mm-hmm. All those things.
Mm-hmm. And then you can go vote.
Makes me tired. It really makes me tired.
So Party Foul and I were talking about this earlier. Ariana Grande, just to bring a little pop in here for fun, she's actually setting up voter registration booths at on her current tour. Sweetener? I don't know what it's called. She's a great singer. But she's setting up voter registration booths on her tour for people coming to her concerts to be able to vote.
I need to figure out how we can do that.
We don't have it. Yeah, well, that's what we'll start doing.
I like that.
That's what we'll start doing. We'll have voter registration.
I don't know how to do all that, but
our demographic though are not teeny boppers. Our demographic are actual adults who pay their taxes and
already
a mortgage
registered.
And all that. And I promise you, 99% of the people that come to our shows they're registered to vote.
If Beto can figure out how to get a voting booth on a college campus right outside the dorm, like a vending machine, because college kids are too lazy to go
We're screwed.
vote.
Yeah.
And we ought to be able to figure out how to get voter registration done at our shows.
Mm-hmm. We're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
Okay.
I'm moving. All my friends down in Australia, I know y'all are wacky too, and I know a lot of people in Australia watch this show. I'm moving.
Okay. I have a friend that's in Australia right now, Wamsgans, that's her last name, mayor in our town. Awesome, huge 2A people. Just think a lot of them. She's in Australia and she proposed us just all. She's like, there's some land out here.
There's a lot of land.
Well, they got crocodiles.
Yeah, we can go, down under.
Yeah.
And enjoy. I mean, there's
Australia's a mess too. I mean, they're so far left with their government. I mean, they're a mess. And
so I asked her that. I said, what are we going to do? She said, we'll just bring enough of our people.
Yeah.
Aren't they about America vote. Like 10 years ago, though? Aren't they
No, they're very progressive.
They are.
They're quite
I
progressive.
hadn't been in.
Very liberal government, and
3 years.
beautiful place, beautiful people.
Yeah.
I love Australians and I love New Zealanders. I've got great friends in both.
Yep.
And but no, it's a bad deal. What I really propose is that we go down and just invade Venezuela and take that over. And but we got to invade. We got to just go in there. We got to kick everybody out. It's
You probably do that right
largest
now.
oil reserves in
Yeah.
the world. I mean, we could, of course, pretty much all owned by China at this point. But Trump's doing a good job with China. So we'll just do a little buddy thing. We'll just do a handshake agreement and go on down there. What I propose though is I think Trump should name Ocasio-Cortez as the ambassador to Venezuela, since she's so in love with socialism. She should just have to go spend her time down there and live at the embassy and handle all of that.
Yeah,
I
kind of
think
like
that's 'cause
get another Girl Scout patch.
Yeah, because she's not
Go
going
down
to-
there and earn that
You would
Girl
think
Scout
that was
patch.
cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's not
Let's
going to get
go.
reelected.
This is the
to Congress.
answer.
I think she's pissed off enough New Yorkers in that little borough that I just don't know.
Yeah, she ran out Amazon, didn't she?
Yeah.
Or wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
25,000 jobs with a medium income of 130,000. Yeah,
What?
each.
They're medium. Wow.
Yeah.
Because of taxes?
Well, they would have been making. I mean, the average salary on that thing was like $130,000 on that deal.
But they were giving a big tax break to Amazon, and that was the reason. What was
She didn't
the-
want to give the tax
No,
break.
she wanted, yeah.
She felt like she was saving them money.
In the long
she
run,
was
employing
saving
that
money
many
that they
people-
weren't bringing. There's no revenue now, so you can't save the money because Amazon was going to bring in the revenue, and she was like, "Well, you can't save what you don't have."
Look at everything that when Amazon builds their big buildings up. Look at all the other stuff that comes in.
Oh yeah,
I mean, every kind of business you can think of, and housing. They got to have housing for 25,000, people. So all of a sudden, new housing's going up everywhere. So
it would have boomed that economy.
Yeah.
It'd been huge. It would have been huge. Poor Jeff Bezos, richest man on the planet. Yeah.
I think they were trying to like walk it back a little bit. I think I heard like de Blasio or somebody was trying to rekindle that conversation, but
Oh, I bet they are.
I bet it's too late.
I bet they are.
Hey,
Makes me tired.
hey,
What?
did y'all hear about the feud between George Conway
Oh yeah.
and Trump?
Yeah.
Man, they're in a Twitter war.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you imagine being Kellyanne Conway? And
Oh, my
what is
gosh.
that home life like? I mean, I'd kill him. I mean, if my wife were that anti what I'm into and believe in,
right.
and wanted to continually take it public, I'd kill her. I'd just put her in a
Well-
box somewhere, bury it.
That's a confession.
I bet it's exciting at their house. Dinners.
Man,
As
that's,
soon as Trump's out of office, they're getting divorced. Watch and see.
Oh goodness.
Be interesting to see.
that's yeah, because
It's ugly.
and Trump says it's because he wanted George had asked for a job, he didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's butthurt,
That's probably true.
and said, and Trump has never one to mince words, so he called him a loser
Yeah,
husband. Mr. Kellyanne Conway.
that's funny.
Oh man, and then
Leave it to Trump.
of course,
He's just dissing him. He's like,
yeah, and naturally Conway is coming back with, well, we really need to check Trump's mental stability.
Yeah,
So that's ugly.
it's ugly. All right.
as long as he's pissing everybody off, I'm pretty cool with that. It's like, shake
Well,
it up.
that's the beauty of Trump, and people have to understand the dude's from Queens. He doesn't mince a lot of words, and he's not a diplomatic
No.
politician. I mean, that's not he's not a statesman.
I will say though, usually it might be two girls having. I mean, I watch enough Real Housewives. There's two girls having this, and the husband trying to create peace, and it's kind of
Yeah,
a reverse Oreo because the wife's like, "No, let's
reverse Oreo.
just calm down."
Look at Trump's kids. Which one of them is bad? Where's the bad seed at in those kids? They're all successful,
They are.
all, doing their own thing too. But I mean,
Genuinely nice people.
yeah,
Yeah.
Genuinely nice people.
they were raised by somebody.
Well, somebody would
Maybe they had a
comment
great
on that and
nanny.
say it's Ivanka because she's married to Jared Kushner and he's the Antichrist.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's all the Trump fault. So whatever. Everything in the world's blame it on Trump. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what we do. That's like in my world, I blame it on Party Foul Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
Okay. So this one, I just heard this last night and then again this morning. So I was doing a little more research because it affects, all of this affects us. But this one, when it affects you directly. So do you know about Peloton, the bike, and now a treadmill? We have a Peloton. I love it. Joseph, my husband, doesn't like to run at all. He played football and just, so it's a lot easier. So they're being sued because they've been supposedly, and according to the lawsuit, using music without permission.
Oh boy.
You can't do that.
Oh boy.
I don't know if they were Spotify. I don't know what was going on, but surely, because they're actually set to go public later this year with a valuation of $4 billion.
They'll probably settle.
They
and
will.
Pay and keep
They'll
it.
settle. They'll make it right because they've got a lot riding.
I'm totally.
Look at you with the pun.
Well, they do. They have a lot riding. But so I had dinner, a few weeks ago with Emmett Smith.
You're just name dropping.
I know I did. I was so excited about it. And then while we were at the dinner, he said he has a Peloton, and I said, "Oh my gosh, what's your name on there?" And he's like, "I'm not telling you." He wouldn't tell me what his name was. But this is a lot of celebrities and
What do you mean?
athletes.
You have your name on your bicycle?
Well, you have a call name, because it's all online, so you can
it's like a
race
game.
against people. It's all live. There's some that's on demand, but you can see where your standings are. If you need to push more, if you're kind of pushed that way, you can see maybe somebody you're kind of racing with. Your friends, you can actually ride at the same time. You can plan to ride at the same time. It's a really neat idea.
I'm totally unaffected by this.
You aren't. Well, you need to ride more.
Totally unaffected.
You need.
Is it a stationary
Digitized.
bike?
It is a stationary bike.
So you're not going anywhere.
No, you are going somewhere. You're going to fewer pounds.
Oh.
That's where you're going.
There's a big screen in front of you, and you have
Yes.
the trainer and the whole thing, and Joseph does it because of the hot trainers.
Well, that's
So are they on a bicycle
true.
too? Like a screen, you can see them riding a bicycle, or?
yeah, they're right in front of you, and they're saying, "Go."
It's like a spin class that you're watching on TV, basically.
So you can see a girl's butt the whole time pedaling in front
No,
of you?
she's
She's facing you.
I don't
with
want
a
her
sports
facing me. I want her going that
I don't know.
way.
She's got a sports bra on, and
Oh, maybe I do want her facing me.
he's like, "This has affected me."
She's got
Maybe
what
this will
on?
affect me.
A
How
sports
much
bra.
of those things?
Yeah,
She's
she's
got
gonna
a
buy
sports
stock
bra and
now.
hot
And
pants.
like,
Yeah.
how do you spell
And
Peloton?
they're in Yep, there it goes. Now
Yeah.
this just got legit. P-E-L-O.
You
hook this
sex
in?
sells, and
Can you
Steve is a living
Can
example.
you hook this into Pornhub?
They have
That's a different machine, Steve.
Oh,
they have found a way. They have found a niche, that's for sure, and it has exploded. And anyway, they're being sued. 150 million.
That'd be okay.
Yeah.
I've wondered about getting one of those things. I don't know.
Well, we bought ours used.
I got a feeling I'd be selling mine used.
they're not-
That might have been yours. Yeah.
Where's the screen at? Do you use your TV, or it has
Just
a
come
built-in?
over. I'll show you. Just
Don't
you come-
invite Steve to your house.
No, just come
He
over.
won't
No, it's
never
too
leave.
late. You already Joseph.
Come do a ride, and he'll be hooked. Next week he'll want to lead with that story. So I'm a big Peloton fan.
$500 for one.
Oh
Wait.
no,
No.
They're
no,
more than that.
No, you can get used ones, but
These are the cheap versions. These are not like what y'all are talking about.
No, it's not. Not at $500. It's not.
nope,
Nope. So anyway, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm
Get
just
one.
they'll make it work. But it was
Fitness industry is huge. It's so huge. I mean, so huge.
and everybody's trying something different,
Yeah.
hoping that that's the magic
Yeah.
pill.
Yeah. You just stick your toes underneath the couch and do sit-ups. It's
I
free.
do that.
It's
I do
free.
that.
You do?
I do.
I don't. Are you buzzing?
Yeah, that was me.
Your phone buzzing? God, I don't.
Because I had another story on my phone I was keeping.
Craziness. Well, don't put it back there. She's going to make more noise. God, Natalie.
It's back there.
Oh,
Okay.
the people I deal with in this show.
I
What else is going on?
I-
Is there anything else?
I read. Probably should have read more about this one. Man arrested at Indian airport with a human embryo.
Man,
Could be a part of possible smuggling ring.
smuggling babies.
Embryos.
That's still a
But they're
baby.
frozen, right?
Yeah.
Like frozen embryos.
Yeah.
Exactly. A different form of human trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So did you read about what
There was like limited information, but like what they're thinking is they're using that as a form of smuggling embryos into different countries, and then I guess
that starts a whole new argument there.
So what are they going to do with the embryos? I mean, is this to create human byproducts, or
maybe you can sell them? I mean, I'm sure that is unfortunately a market where you can sell embryos. Just like people donate them, but I'm sure there's unfortunately a market for that in other countries.
That's sick. People are sick. People are absolutely sick.
It's scary.
I know. It really is.
It gets into that whole realm of people playing God too, you know? The whole frozen embryo stuff. I don't know. I'm not against it, but I'm just like, I've got 9 frozen embryos sitting over here in a tank, you know?
You're not against what?
Is that potential life or is that life?
What'd you say you're against?
I'm not necessarily against frozen embryos, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know where I sit on that. Depends.
Yeah. How about frozen pizzas?
I'm not a big fan of frozen pizzas.
All right. Party foul Steve. We got to get out of here. We got to do this thing. Mondays and Wednesdays, the plan is we're going to talk about the news topics of the day.
And Wednesdays? Every Monday and Wednesday?
I think that's the plan.
Oh, my God.
That's the plan. And then we're going to have some guests. We got, tune in tomorrow. We got Jacob Schick from 22 Kill is going to be on tomorrow.
What a cool dude. That was a neat interview.
Great dude.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I've heard him before. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and he's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
there's no.
There's
BS.
no.
You know
BS.
where you stand. And I can promise he's probably going to deliver that.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, folks. Well, get Blaze TV. Go to blazetv.com/Chad. You can use promo code Chad when you do it, and it'll save you some money. But make sure that you're telling your friends about the podcast. And go to where podcasts are delivered. Go to your podcast subscribe, download it every week. And if you're going to watch it on YouTube. Go to YouTube. You just search out Chad Prather, and you will find the Chad Prather Show. So I got to post a video about the 16-year-olds voting because I just did a video that hit 1 million in a day on that. So that was a pretty good little video that we did. So anyway, you guys hang in there. Go to watchchad.com for tour dates and come hang out with us on the road. And make sure you're watching Humor Me with Chad Prather on Blaze TV. I love y'all. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye.